fairly certain we can beat him. I'll put a wee clip into the competition just for a reminder. Should be easy.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. As you've seen, Gary's taking me up on the track car challenge, so I'm down in the workshop just now. I'm waiting on Gary coming, so he should be here momentarily. I don't know what car he's bought yet. It's a surprise to me. He's just told me that he's taking up the challenge. In my head, I don't know. Whatever I say, Gary, like, you know what it's like when you have a brother or a sister or a sibling. Whatever I say, he's going to try and do one better, but Gary's the kind of person who's going to try and do it one better in the worst possible way, kind of thing. If I bought something for £10, Gary got the same for £9. But I don't think he's going to have a Civic or anything like that. I'm not even sure if it's going to be Japanese, to be honest. But Gary is so competitive, but he'll buy the complete opposite thing and say it's the same. That's what I'm trying to get at. So we're waiting here just now to see what he comes up with. You guys will be first to see. I can hear a car coming. Here he comes. I can see it. He's actually stole my idea. Is that him? Yeah, that's him. Emphasise that bit there. You have literally stole my idea.
It's the best idea.
It was me that told you about the C1s not being able to catch me.
This is an Igo, it's better than a C1.
And no, just no, it's not.
It's authentic Japanese C1 goodness.
Gary, that looks pretty low. Were you in that there? I can hear the suspension screaming.
That's not just because of my weight. It's got some issues that we need to fix.
Right, okay, we'll get it in just now then. I found some antibacterial wipes there because you've probably been slavering on the way home.
That's how excited I was about the car.
Excited?
I had to stop and buy wipes.
Oh god. To be fair, the interior's not too bad. It's the exterior I'm worried about.
It's the underside I'm worried about.
So Gary, just give us 10 words or so about the Igo. What is it?
Basically, it's the cheapest Toyota Igo in the entire of the UK at the time when I bought it.
I'm going to go ahead and say there will be a specific reason as to why it is the cheapest. Gary has bought this without me being there, even though I told him to wait. So Gary, tell us about what you've found on the car or what you think we're expecting to find on the car.
It has a few issues relating to rust. I don't think it's anything that's too bad. There's nothing on it that I think is too scary that can't be fixed on a budget to get to the track.
So obviously you've got the luxury, you can use this workshop whenever you want. We've got tools, you can get access to my parts accounts, etc. So that's obviously going to help you out a little bit. So this is actually a good start for Gary. So the little Citroen is inexpensive because there's Toyota, Citroen and Peugeot. Parts to get for these are common, and I think this will be not too bad round the track, to be honest, and a good learning start point for Gary, both to get his hands dirty on the tools. They're not overly complicated cars, they're pretty straightforward, so it's good for him to get experience on the tools and sorting the car, and a good starting point for on the track. What we're going to do now is we're going to raise this car up and start looking at how much Gary's going to have to dig into his pockets. So Gary, just before we get started, I've got the head torch on. Is there anything you want to let me know before we get started here?
Basically, these spring perches are an obvious issue.
Right, so obviously as we could see there, those are absolutely goners.
Terrifying.
Terrifying. Did you drive that home like that?
A wee bit.
A wee bit. I can see we've got some, but that's okay because we've got some nice tyre gel here, some tyre dressing, so that makes everything all a bit better.
Tyre gel can hide any problem.
That's a bit stiff. Anything else you want to admit to? So is that just that one or what?
No, both.
Both?
Both front ones at least.
Okay, so we've got some symmetrical wear there. What else?
There's a wee bit orangeness in this general area. You can see there's some blue, which is the paint, some black that's hiding some orange. So this kind of general area is hiding.
So there's a previous repair there. Okay, what else?
So genuinely, I never saw that as a seam.
You didn't see that?
No, genuinely.
I seen that within the first 10 seconds.
I never saw that as a seam. I just thought it was like build up a crud.
No, seen it within 10 seconds. Is that dog shit? That is dog shit. Some free dog shit.
That's increased the value slightly.
What else? So wait. So if that's that side, there's a big dent there. Is it? What's that? What is that?
Authentic Japanese sticker.
Okay. Right. We've had a bash there, but that's no to worry about. We've got some more, as Gary calls it, orangeness here. There's another seam there. Right. Oh. What's that?
No, I did see that plate.
What's that cat shit, Gary?
That looks good.
Did you do that before did you do that at the side of the road before I got it on the ramp?
Just with some
So
blue.
wait, that's one plate, that is another plate, and then that is another plate.
3 times as strong as the original cell.
This is starting to look like my Honda.
It's like faster.
That there is absolute shit. And what else?
Let's get some suspect spare wire in here.
Is it MOT'd?
Technically, no.
I know why. What was it you told me, Gary? So it had 7 days MOT left, but it had failed in MOT.
When you look it up on the DVLA's website.
A fail is a fail.
No, the guy
That is not fit for purpose. That is a fail. That is no longer fit for the road. And we've got 4 new tyres. That's no bad. But are you going to want to change tyres anyway?
Start with these tyres and then to develop the car as time goes on, look to put maybe like semi-slick tyres on it. The rust is my biggest concern.
Right, so just to team up on this episode, guys, now that Gary's admitted to what he knows or thought he knew about the car, I'm going to have a look over it and I'm just going to demonstrate to you guys how I typically give a car a health check or looking over to see what is wrong. So first thing I'm going to do is spin the wheel and I'm checking there for binding brakes. That ain't the best, to be honest. I'm then checking for side to side play and up and down play. I'm checking with my palm of my hand across the surface of the tyre for bulges, cuts. I'm looking in across. We already know that this strut is gone, but I'm looking for a breakage in the spring. I'm looking at the condition of the shocker and I'm looking at the top mount from underneath. Surprised that didn't ping off there. I'm also looking at the brake line at this point in there. That is a little bit rusty and we might rub that back with a wire wheel just to check on it. Once I've done that, I'm turning the steering. I'm having a look round the tyre for any punctures or bulges. Now I'm going inside. When I'm looking from the inside, I'm checking the brake line to make sure there's no kinks or twists. I'm checking the inside of the tyre for the same bulges or cuts. I'm checking the inside of the brake disc. I'm also checking the CV boot at this point. Make sure it's secure and it's preventing ingress of dirt. Bottom ball joint boot as well. Checking the drop links. You can actually check those for play and knocking. We're looking at the drive shaft and the inner drive shaft boot. Checking for any leaks in at the box and at the seal. We're looking across for any sort of leaks here. Checking the exhaust as well. I'll actually spin the wheel while we're in here and we can look up at the condition of the spring shocker. We can then look in and check these bushes for the bottom arm as well. Check condition of the subframe. That bush there isn't the best looking, to be honest. I might put a lever on that. Subframe is a little bit corroded. I'm then coming across and I'm checking the sump. That is slightly wet, so I think that sump plug washer is starting to sweat and leak. There's some slight pulling there on the oil filter, so it could be due a little freshen up as well. So I'm just basically making my way across the front, and then I'm checking the same at this side for what I've just done, so I'm just switching over sides. So I'm just checking the same at this side as the opposite side, checking the outside. See how that one's spinning a little bit freer? That brake might be binding slightly. Checking for play. Also, if you're concerned about a noisy wheel bearing, you can spin the wheel and put your hand on the spring and you'll feel the vibration transferring through. Again, as Gary comes, that is the cup of the shocker is destroyed. This brake pipe is about the same as the other side. And then we're going back underneath this side. Punctures. There we go. We've got a destroyed bottom ball joint boot. So that ain't stopping any dirt. That's gone. The inside of this disc is a lot worse than the opposite side. Still checking the boot. We can see that that drop link has been replaced recently compared to that one. That's a bit worn. Checking the shaft and box at that side for any leaks. Sorry about camera work. Checking the shaft and box in there for any leaks. We're checking the belt, checking around the sump. That's all pretty good, to be honest. Checking that back bush in there. So it's just pretty much, once we're satisfied with what we've checked, again we're checking for any kinks. Once we're satisfied with the front and everything, we can then move to the back. Again, checking. Gary said those might actually need a little bit adjusted. Checking again for punctures, anything like that. We're then checking into the spring. Now that ain't sitting the best. There. That spring isn't the healthiest. Neither is the exhaust hanger. Checking inside the tyre. We've got new drums, we can see there. Checking that brake pipe in there. Isn't the best either. Although I think something's been done at some point. We're checking the shocker for any leaking, sweating, damage. Then we can move across, we can check the exhaust mounts. Same again, checking for any leaks. Again, that ain't sitting very good. That one's with a new brake line on it, that's copper. Checking the tyres again. And then we're going in to check the underside. Check the fuel tank. We're checking for the brake lines. We're checking the back bushes in there. Axle bushes. Checking the condition of the axle itself. And then, as seen on the MOT, we have a problem in there. If you can see there, that needs welding. There's a big hole in there. So we're going to have to investigate that further off the ramp. And then if we go to this other side, something I noticed a minute ago, that there. That is not good. Starting to figure out why it was the cheapest one on Facebook. That's going to need rectified. I'm going to have to get a look at that. Oh shit, that is bad. Oh, Gary! That in there looks suspect as well. There's some more car for you. It's time to, Gary, do I have permission here before you start crying? I'm going to poke at the screwdriver. Let's see. That's soft, look. Oh.
Stop blowing holes in my shit.
Who wants to buy an Igo? Cheapest on the market.
Parts only.
Little peek under the engine bay here. We're seeing a lot of white paint in here. Normally that would signify maybe a chain or a belt in your car might have been done, it might have a date, but those are more like part number things. There is something 2014 written there, but could this be a second-hand engine that's in this? How many miles is on the clock, Gary?
145,000.
145,000. Wow. Probably the highest I've ever seen one of these little cars have on the clock. So to finish off the health check, we're just going to do a little light check on the car. So Gary, you jump in. So I start with indicators. So left indicator. Yep. Yep. Right indicator. Yep. Yep. Side lights. We've got one there. Nothing there. Dip beam. We've got both. Full beam. Off. Keep the horn. Do the wipers. No fluid. Oh, there we go. That's not clearing the window. I know that because it's failed for that. Hazard lights, Gary, because you work on a different circuit. Good. And now for the back. So left indicator. That's good. Right indicator. That's good. Side lights. Yep. And two number plate lights are working. Brakes. Reverse. Fog. You doing anything? On and off? It's no damn fuck all there. Did you brake? Go again? That's right, okay. Right, okay, maybe I have an issue with the fog light as well. We have to look at that. We're just going to do a fluid check as well, guys. Got some oil. What a shit dipstick that is.
It's the worst.
Some brown coolant. That smells sweet enough, but it smells rusty enough as well. And the coolant level might need a little top up. So just check the fluid levels there as well. That kind of concludes the health check on Gary's car. We have showed you the good, the bad. If we're doing a price list and a parts list, Gary, so we're looking at 2 front shock absorbers, right? I would do a coolant flush, a service. We've got a bulb to do in the front. Discs and pads may clean up. You're probably going to get advised for them anyway though. We need the welding done on the back, the sills on the back. It needs a wiper.
Yep.
It needs the battery draining. What did you say that was loose?
Aye, just so you could pop it off. So
Just stop the battery.
Aye.
So we're going to have to find out where it's draining as well then. A full service, so filter, air filter and all that included.
The lights need cleaned because they're not.
You'll get away with that, I don't think. You see, to be honest, the interior's in pretty good condition. It's not bad and smelly. I've had one of these cars before. I actually enjoy driving it. The clutch is a little bit on it, but these are actually adjustable, so we might try doing that first. The ball joint needs done. Did you see there's a ball joint?
I think there might be a ball joint in the boot already, weirdly. These, their shoes.
That's a shoe.
What's this? Which I'm assuming is a ball joint?
No, it's a drop line.
That's a drop line. It's got a spare wheel. And it's got a boot line in.
It's got a what?
A boot line in.
Alright. So we don't have a ball joint?
We don't have a ball joint.
So we'd be well putting that drop link on because it's there. We need a ball joint for it. I'm sure these can be pressed out, but we'll see whether it's worth doing the arm or the joint. And what else did you have there? A shoe? Why is there only one shoe?
There's a pair.
A pair as in 4 shoes or a pair as in 2 shoes?
2 shoes.
Well, that is a bit alarming that only 2 new shoes just went on the car.
No, I think these are just spare shoes.
You don't get spare shoes to come in a pack of 4. So one side doesn't have the new shoes on it. Here comes the fun part. I don't know the answer to this, and I've not asked Gary yet. How much was the car advertised for?
575.
575. I know you're pretty good at haggling. Don't lie, because you'll try and undercut and you'll say you got it for £100 when you didn't. Just tell the truth. How much did you pay for this?
I got this for a crisp handshake. No money.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. It was 500.
Oh man, I wanted to believe the crisp handshake there because I was genuinely raging for a split second. But now that I've heard 500, you've been done.
I did try to haggle more. I do enjoy a haggle, but the problem was he had already told me about all the faults. So when I was like, I don't like this, he was like, aye, but I did tell you. So there wasn't a lot of manoeuvring on the price, and it was the cheapest. It's genuinely the cheapest one in the UK, especially for a $5.
It probably is the cheapest. There was ones with, to be honest, there was ones with the same problem with the welding who did actually even include pictures of their their rust and rot and the welding needed done, and they were still sitting at like £800 to £1,500.
Aye.
So when you think of it that way, it's not bad, but for 575 down to 500, nah, I wouldn't have done that deal. Like, I would have left it and maybe went for another. But it is what it is. The car's here now. It actually looks as if we're better off taking the axle off, and then if we're taking the axle off, we might be as well just doing the back bushes while we're there and getting the whole under sealing done. You're actually wanting to use this as a small daily as well as your track day fun.
Occasionally, yeah.
I suppose it's got a Toyota badge. It's in a Japanese class that we love to save shit boxes on this channel, so we'll definitely have a shot at it. The good thing is, in terms of the welding, I can get a sheet of metal for around £40, a decent sized sheet of metal for around £40, so we could even try it, and if it doesn't work, you've only really lost, well, you've lost the price of the car, but
aye.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming up on the channel next time, guys. If you're wondering of any of our previous shitbox cars, then the Honda will be popping up on your screen now. Give it a little watch. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see the future progress on this little car and see Gary's first experience on the track, because he's been running his mouth, obviously, saying that. So do you think you can get this around the track quicker than the Honda? We're forgetting a key point here. You said you used to be faster around the track than my Honda. This is the car you have chosen. Obviously, if we get it fixed, can you get this round the track quicker than my Honda?
Easy. It might be on the back of a recovery van, but it will go in faster.
What's the wager? If you can't, you have to pay me for the welding.
No.
See you next time, guys.